For the past few weeks, you may have noticed that CSGO's audio has added reverb and echoes, designed to mimic how real life works. This doesn't affect gameplay much. In fact, Valve intended for it not to, going as far as to respond to a post that assumed that footsteps had been made quieter. A complicated response, maybe. But in short, it can be simplified as no. Probably. So although not intended to be gameplay changing, it should add to the immersion and help CSGO to catch up to the audio realism set by other leading games. In a perfect world, the sound waves would be simulated as they bounce about the place, the resulting sound changing accordingly. But then again, a perfect world would also have CSGO run at 1,000,000 frames a second. But this is reality, and you can't have both. So it's fake. The echoes are decided, not by your environment, but in the soundscapes text file within the scripts folder of CSGO. Take a look yourself. There are 29 different settings, so every sound in CSGO can, in theory, have 29 different echoes. And every single soundscape in the game, ranging from Aztec through to Vertigo, supports this, even though some of these maps aren't even in the game anymore. Why do these still support DSP then? Let me explain. All aboard the hype train, they've got a load of E3 soundscapes. Just a week away, does this mean that they're going to be at E3 2018, showcasing new and exciting echoey sound technology? Sadly, knowing Valve, it's more likely to be from E3 2003. I reverted back to a copy of CSGO from earlier this year, and DSP was still in the game. I reverted back to a demo viewer version, which is like 2013, and DSP was still in the scripts folder. Clearly, this must be some kind of mistake, so I opened my illegal copy of CSGO dating back to 2011, and DSP was still there. In short, this sound tech has been in the game since before its release. Maybe even since E3 2003, it just hasn't been enabled until now. That's a shame, but I can at least give you some examples of all the different echoes. Now, I could have kept all the echoes as they are and had you turn your volumes up to dangerous levels trying to hear the differences, because in-game, the differences between them all are very subtle. So instead, I've compressed the audio to make the echoes louder than they were originally. This better demonstrates the differences between them. I understand why you might feel that this defeats the purpose of showcasing them in the first place, so I may also upload them with their original volumes to a separate video for those of you who care. Also, even with this adjustment, a lot of them sound very similar. So let's go through the interesting ones. Normal is normal. Generic is echoey and takes more than 3 seconds to fade out entirely. And metal medium never fades out, instead reducing to minus 50 decibels and remaining there forever. Valve, please fix. Metal large also does this. Tunnel large has a nice long reverb, as you'd expect from a tunnel. Chamber large is the same, but more hissy. Quite a distinctive one. You might figure by now that I like the large echoes. The medium and small ones of each barely sound any different from one another, with the Glock sound at least. Just to show you, here's Water 1. And here's Concrete Small. Big 3 is lovely. This must be what they used for Half-Life 2's coastal levels. You can hear the echo quickly bounce about in Cavern Medium. And at the end of this list are 3 weirdo soundscapes, which all echo at a medium rate, somewhere between Cavern Medium and Big 3. It's a shame because they had so much potential to be amusing, stupid sounding ones that could have been hidden in unused corners of maps as Easter eggs. Of course, this is all using the Glock. You might think that louder weapons, such as the AWP, would have better sounding echoes, but the reality is that these louder weapons already have an echo built into the sound file, and this gets in the way of the real echoes. Even Big 3's distinctive thuddy echo is masked by the fade out of the SSG-08, let alone the AWP. But I'll show all 3 chamber settings, since all 3 seem to show differences with the Scout. Chamber works well with any kind of sound, it seems. Here are all 3 with a quiet, knife swooping sound. Indeed, Quieter sounds seem to reverberate more in smaller spaces, perhaps because they lack the duration and volume to survive the larger ones. Take a listen to Big 1, Big 2 and Big 3 for example. In conclusion, DSP doesn't properly simulate sounds, but Valve have provided so many different, yet similar templates that you soon realise that an approximation is probably good enough. The larger the environments, the more noticeable the echoes are for the louder sounds, but the smaller and sharper the sounds are, the better they echo in smaller spaces. There are a few broken reverbs that never seem to fade out entirely, and the built-in echoes ruin the snipers for now. I personally wouldn't mind more deviation between them, but since people are already complaining that it sounds too echoey, perhaps it's best that Valve doesn't do this. I think this update is a step in the right direction for CSGO's sound, bringing us one step closer to how it used to sound in the original Half-Life again. If you like this video, then check out the video about surround sound for CSGO that I made about 4 months before they added surround sound to CSGO, and check out this video from 4 months ago when I added reverb effects to CSGO. I'll leave a few spaces here free for any other echo comparisons I might make at a later date, which will likely include all 29 echoes for the knife, the Glock and the Scout, and will be of more use to mappers than for players of the game.